Let's go, boys.
Oh gosh, dude, big one. Oh my gosh, I smoked it. Come here, good, chunky, largemouth. Oh, that's what it's about. You know, I'll tell you what, black and blue, you know, green pumpkin. Let's say one of my favorite little jig color combinations, especially when you get a little bit off color water. Black and blue catches them all over the country. Let this little guy go real quick here. There you go, buddy. Jig fishing is something that really catches bass no matter where you go. It's something that, the number one question I get asked as a professional angler is if you only had one bait to throw, what are you going to have in your, what are you gonna have in your line? For me, it's a jig. I mean, you can swim it, you can pitch it, you can fish it in cover, you can fish it in grass, you can fish it all over the country. And probably one of my favorite color combinations is contrasting a jig, like a black and blue jig like we have right here, with a green pumpkin crawl trailer. And that's exactly what we got. So something with a little bit of action, and something that just sort of gives it a little bit of a contrasting, offsetting color. And I think that, especially when you have that normal water clarity of a 1 to 2 foot of clarity, that's the combo that gets it done for most of the time for me. So right now we're fishing this little edge of grass right here, and you know, a big thing that I see a lot of people make a mistake when they're flipping grass, whether it's hydrilla, milfoil, is they'll make a pitch out there. Let me get them out there, and then they'll tight line their jig all the way to the bottom. And so you want that vertical fall. So like I really will throw it out there and I'll throw a little slack at it. Try to have that real vertical fall back to the bottom. A lot of your bites will come on the fall. And then the other thing is you know, you can, when you're trying to fish and find those groups, a lot of times I'll get to the bottom, let it sit there just for a second, a couple seconds typically, shake it, pop him up, and then sort of just start it again. Now, if you get in a little zone where you feel something a little crunchy, a little hard, that's definitely the real areas for me is like, you know, keying in on something irregular, whether it's a thicker patch of grass, whether it's a hard spot in the grass, a you know, open hole, you know, something where it's more sparse. That is the key in bass fishing in general. You can even see that in 360. It's open hole and there's an edge. That's really a key when finding groups of fish. Again, it's just something different. There's not really much in this hole right here, but they're really sort of setting up on this little edge. And that's these little ponds, even, I mean, everywhere across the country, it's really irregularities, okay? From day in and day out, doesn't matter what you're fishing for, where you're fishing in the country, irregularities, what will bass in those areas will really group up on or, you know, really gravitate towards. So that's sort of what I try to look for. If I can, you know, utilize my electronics, or I can sort of figure out and see what's going on, that really helps me dial in on what's really happening. Oh, there he is. Gosh. Oh, I smoked it. Another good one. Okay, buddy. Come on over here. Come on over here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is not too bad. A lot of fun. Another 3+ pounder. And you know, I gotta show you guys what's on the business end right here. For me, really comes down a lot of different things that you look for when you're picking a jig trailer. But for me, I really want something that has a lot of action. I'm really excited about this little bait right here. And one thing that is really important, it's a consistent action at slow speeds. That's what I'm looking for. Something when I can hop that jig, that I have a little bit of, you know, that little natural action. These little flappers kick, these little side appendages go, you know, flare out. And what it does is that they're thin enough where that water hits the side appendages, they're gonna reverse and the water's gonna push them down and it's gonna quiver. But those tight movements for me, I feel like over the years has been the action that generates more bites than something more aggressive. Especially when you get an older fish that's like, yeah, I've seen a few jigs out there in my day. He has to have something to entice the bite, and that's why I picked this trailer right here. Oh gosh. That's a nice one. There is just nothing better than a jig bite. Just a beautiful fish. And that's exactly why you want to have them hooked to you right there, top dead center. So I've been bouncing back and forth and over the last couple of years, but throwing, braid to fluoro, sort of like, for me on a jig, you really have to learn, if you are gonna throw like a braid to fluoro combo, you want to really adjust your hook set. You cannot snap set. You'll notice I'm really just pulling into them because you have very little stretch. Really aren't that great at setting the hook real hard with fluorocarbon. The braid to fluoro combination can be the perfect jig setup for you to catch quality fish like that. And I think there's a lot of advantages to it. I'm throwing this is 30 pound right here, 131 braid. And I like something that's like a little bit thinner. So it's actually 20 pound fluorocarbon, but I do, it is something that you definitely have to change your rod according to what exactly, a little bit lighter rod than maybe what you were throwing with a fluorocarbon, straight fluorocarbon, because you don't have that stretch. So it's just something to heads up on that. But when they stop, it's a lot of fun. It's a good time. Oh gosh, another tank tub. Get him over here. There you go. I love bass fishing. I love it, man. So much fun catching those good fish. Day in and day out. People ask me all the time, they say, listen, do you still love it? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I love it. This is freaking awesome. I love fishing, man. Love finding them, love looking for them, and then you just love setting the hook. Who does not love that? Come on, y'all. Woohoo! Yes, sir.